Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, or at least we should be. Alright, looks like we're good, and I didn't manage to bugger anything up. That is awesome. Hail Bendover, hail Arid Hail, hail Ataria on alt. Good to see you, my dude.
Good morning, Vietnam!
And thank you for the 2 Good Morning Vietnam blurbs. There's already people watching? Yes, there is Ataria. Yo, my dude. In Asia. Ooh. Hope you're having a good time, my dude. Okay, audio is good. Thank you. Thank you for the check there. Technical checks are always awesome. Yeah, I was just telling Arid Hail about some of the rites of machine maintenance I had to perform upon the holy projector here, and yeah, I got the why are you retarded look, so and no, I couldn't see him, but I could definitely hear it in his voice, which is fair. Please, YouTube, don't be that way. How are you, Ataria? And Ben, and Arid Hail? I hope you're all having an excellent morning, gentlemen. I haven't done this in a long time. Fire Arc. Ooh. I'll hope you get good sleep, man. Hopefully my voice is something nice to nod off to. Okay, I think we're gonna go with HSTVL. Ye old HSTVL. No. Not my favorite map, but not my least favorite map either. I can make it work. Definitely make it work. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit on my end, because it's a tad loud. Nothing should change for y'all. Keep forgetting I have a drone on this thing. Okay, we don't need this too high. Grateful for any time you choose to spend here. Sorry, it's good to see you, dude. Ow. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Okay. So we're gonna spawn on the other spawn point. Because I just can't make that one work. I don't think. Easily, that is. But I hope y'all are having a great day. My Sunday has been very relaxing, which is very different from how yesterday went. Yesterday, I had to get up, go, do a bunch of stuff, and then late in the evening, I had some emergency mushroom harvesting to do, which, that was an experience, let me tell you. Also, I'm going to change the chat over here. All. Indeed, Ben. Good to see you, my dude. Gotcha. Should make it hard to kill me. Here we go. He's down. Hope you're having a great day, my dude. He has not put himself in a particularly advantageous position over there. For me. For him, it's probably great. For me, not so much. Now, if I was going to try to deal... That's where I was going to go. Back. Couldn't quite pull that off. I could have gotten up through his front plate. I could have killed him there. Pretty easily, probably. This is not going particularly well or terribly at this point. Already down to my 3rd tank, but do what we can. So Leopard to A4 over there. We have probably a Gepard or something like that. Let me see, what do they got up as far as it? Nope, that's a Stormer. That's unusual. A Stormer and an ADATS on the enemy team as far as SPAA at the moment. That's not good. Because those are both really good SPAA, which means that if you try and take up a helicopter, you're going to get shredded. The ADATS is murder on helicopters. Somebody get him? I think they did. I think they did. Let's see. There was one up there for a second, but he is gone now. Which is good. That Type 90D is going to kill me. Nope. Leopard. That's the Leopard. Yeah. Leopard got me. I believe Aerodale is out on that one as well. One time I played the M3 that has 2 cannons, and that was when I understood why people hated CAS. I got killed, 10 killed, and died to somebody that obviously I killed. Yeah. Playing anti-CAS is interesting. It's not my favorite experience. I like playing anti-CAS with the HSTVL. And with the, where is it? HSTVL and the M163, because the way you can deal with stuff is just so fun. But most of the time playing anti-CAS sucks, because you'll get overwhelmed eventually because the enemy team starts prioritizing you as something they need to get rid of. And that makes it difficult. The proxy shells in the HSTVL can work pretty good. They're great. The LAV-AD, the HSTVL shells work best for me on helicopters. Where is it? M109G also has really good M109A1 is what I mean, not the M109G. I'm thinking of the German one. The M109 has actually really decent anti-air shells, which is very nice. Very, very nice. And the HSTVLs function very similarly, which I really appreciate. I think the best I've ever done in CAS, in anti-CAS, was I got on a map where the enemy team just kept spawning helicopters, and I was in the M163, and I was able to basically shred the entire enemy team with that, and that was a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to want to go with Vitality and Agility there on that one. And over here, we're going to switch to... I think we've got nearly everything as far as like actual skills leveled except for repair rank, which we're going to up by a lot. Okay, so repair skills, our logistical services are maxed. Our helicopters versus M163 doesn't sound very fair. The thing is, it was an up tier too, so the helicopters all had ATGMs, but what I was able to do was I was able to target them a lot further out because there is a technique to the M163 that makes it extremely broken, and that is you use the minigun on top to draw a figure 8 in the air around the helicopter, and if you do that carefully enough, you can generally get a hit or two in, and those fragmentation rounds do very funny things to the insides of helicopters. gauge distance, aims up the cannon. It's like, that seems about right. They did eventually get me, but it was hilarious. Because you'd get like 3 of them, because they kept spawning at behind our base. And so you'd get like 3 of them back there, 3 or 4 at a time would spawn in, and then you'd have 1 or 2 of our helicopters up there, and they're trying to deal with those guys, and I'm just sitting back here like, figure 8, and gone. And you can't do that with pretty much anything other than the Lav AD. The M163 and the Lav AD, because of the rotary autocannon, can do that very well. Which you wouldn't think, because most people are like, oh, those cannons are meant to take care of airplanes. But, man. The shrapnel shells? From which? The Lav AD or the HSDVL? I have killed, I believe, a BMP with the HSTVL shrapnel shells, and the rounds on the M163 can pin Russian light vehicles very easily. It depends on which ones. If it's the BMD, it's a little harder, but usually you can do pretty well with it, which I really appreciate. The problem with the M163 is that its shells are not very good at armor penetration for a very long time. I don't think you really get good armor-piercing shells with that. But you can kill, like, leopards and stuff like that through the side with it. Or at least you could back when I was down in those tiers. I don't know if they nerfed that yet. I know they nerfed the XM800T. As for the Lav AD, I have killed many a Russian and German light vehicle with the Lav AD, which is very funny. It's also funny when you knock out the radiator and the rear drive on an Abrams, and he gets very angry and usually kills you unless you're careful and you go behind a sand dune and you're playing Cyanide. The Lav AD is an interesting vehicle that I like a lot, but it's very hard for me to play correctly because I always want to get far more aggressive than you should be. Okay. Let's see what we got over there. Got mostly MBTs, and it looks like they have primarily gone towards the Charlie spawn, which is an interesting choice. Not what I would do in this map. Then again, I often lose this map, so they could have something that going there. The main thing here is that you need to control the wings. And the middle can actually be taken fairly easily from the wings and the water side of things. If you can get down in there, in the canals, you can hold the map very easily. Because you can just keep an eye on everything, and okay. So, we have... Yeah, they're all clumped up. All clumped up on Charlie. That is an interesting choice. That's a very interesting choice. He's not looking at me, so... Let's get... Okay. So we have an ADATS, T-64B, T-72, T-80, Type 90, let's scout him as well. See, what they're trying to do is take Charlie so that they can then push over through the rest of the map, and we're going to do our best to spoil that for them. Those ambitions need to be put down with extreme prejudice. Because I like having this side of the map, thank you very much. And we're going to take up an airplane to do it. I need to get behind. Lease this pile of dirt. Get some good sleep, Ataria. Get good EPs. Okay. I'd imagine that's very late. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna keep pounding them with air for now. 3 a.m., dude. Burning the midnight oil, my man.
10 o'clock. Range. T-72. 10 o'clock.
That's heckin' nuts. Okay. Let's make sure we pre-flare so that Oh, yeah, that's not gonna help us that much, I don't think. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to fly like that. Oh, that's rough. That's very rough. T.T.G.A. I don't think... Oh, they're putting all the SPAA up right now. Oh, that's not good at all. I don't like that one a little bit. No siree. That gives us good sight out there and good cover. Okay, so what is that MBT? Missed! You didn't miss with that one. You did not miss there. It's a fancier S1. Thoroughly unpleasant. I don't like that one little bit. One little bit. Ooh, okay, that ADATS can go. We don't need him hanging around no more. I may actually toss bomb their base or attempt to. If all goes well. Can't. Shit. And I have no countermeasures. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see, did that do anything? I doubt it. I doubt it would kill anyone. We weren't able to really aim there. It's just trying to hurt that SPAA badly enough to where he couldn't shoot if someone got another jet up. I was not able to take him out. Yeah, you, sir, over here. You can get scouted. And the other one. You can die immediately. He needs to go. But we have multiple allies here, so we're gonna let the old... Okay, that's a SPAA down. Aw, we weren't able to get the other one. Sad. The Kafir is broken. I like it a lot. Okay. He is around the side of that building, and he's gone. Good team. Good team. Good varlet. ADATS, sir. Sir. Sir, we're here to contact you about your tank's extended warranty. Sir. Sir, stop resisting, sir. Oh, I see what you're doing, you little funny boy. Naughty. Bad. Bad boy. You can keep shooting the front of my tank all you want, boy. I'm not sticking my cannon out there. Not for all the tea in China. And mission accomplished. 4th place. 4 kills. Not bad. Very acceptable for our second match of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all very much for being here. We are so close to 700 subs at the moment. We are currently sitting at, I believe, 790. I mean, 690, which is within spitting distance. 699. So yeah, we are literally a sub out from 700. So thank you all very much for that. That is awesome. Yeah. The weather around here has been really hot lately. We've been sitting at like mid-90s. Like 90, 95, thereabouts. Pretty much all week. But it's also been really humid too. So it's been perfect tornado weather, which is why we had the little problem over there on the Wednesday stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. But the Wednesday streams were great. That was a lot of fun. So we are currently 112,000 experience out from the M1A1HC. Hot and humid down here. I feel you there, man. I'm half tempted to just turn the camera off and take my shirt off for this stream. But luckily I do have AC because I'm not a filthy Brit or someone from Europe. That greatly ameliorates most of the issues. So if I seem more sweaty than normal, that's why. Okay. But yes, we are literally like, I believe it is after this one, we have 4 more vehicles we have to research to finish out this tech tree. And then we can back research if we so desire in future. But after I get done with the American tech tree, we will be switching over to Sweden to grind that for a bit. And that'll let us see like World War I, World War II, and then like 1980s tanks. Well, interwar, not World War I, but interwar tanks. Yep, high summer here in the northern hemisphere. Thank goodness. But seriously, chat, if I have to pick one, and I have to choose between winter and summer, I'm picking summer every time. I cannot handle the cold. Summer, you just, you wear less clothes and you'll be fine. But winter, Winter, you have to bundle up and then you have to run around super weighed down by all those layers if you don't want to freeze to death. That's thoroughly unpleasant. It does appear they're going to give us the extended wait times this time. That's great. I'm curious. How far out are we from the next... Oh, we're a ways. All right. Oh, by the way, chat, happy 30-something, no, 90-something days since the last leak. And we had a leak of the AV8, like, flight manual and stuff onto the official Warthunder forums. So, yay, another classified leak of documents because someone wanted to win an argument on the internet. Operational security apparently doesn't exist for Warthunder players. The ultimate, well, we built the game, we know it's right. Well, I have the documents that, tell exactly how this plane actually functions in real life. Which is, it's very strange that those documents are still classified, because you can go and buy a Harrier. If you have more money than God, you can go buy a Harrier, but you can go buy a Harrier. It is technically doable. It's just very strange to me. Good Lord. It may be spurging out. I'll try this again. If it doesn't do anything, we can always throw it down a tier or 2. It looks like it's probably going to throw us into one fairly quickly here. Potentially. Okay. All right. That's set, that's set, that's set. Good. The crazy part is here in the US, we can actually buy a Harrier if you have the money. Not like they are practically particularly classified. Yeah, it is. But still, those forums are classified, and you're not supposed to look at them. It's not as bad as that whole thing that one Chinese player did with the shells. That was not wise in the slightest. Guarantee you that guy's dead. Chinese probably killed him for that. Hey, you know our top, our armor-piercing anti-tank shells? Yeah, let's turn those, the designs for those over to a bunch of random people on the internet. That'll end so well for me. My government, who is highly authoritarian and known for taking care of people who leak our national secrets, totally won't try and kill me, guys. We'll keep that on. We'll keep it on. We've got the 38th parallel. This should be interesting. This is not the right camo for this, probably. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Nothing about this is particularly pleasant. This map is strange. It's not bad strange, it's just strange, because this variant I either do, like, super well and get 12 kills, like we did that one time on here, chat, or I do terribly. Hopefully we have an enemy team that's got the self-preservation instincts of a manically depressed lemming or your average VTuber. Someone who is utterly incapable of taking care of themselves in the wild. That's what we need. Okay, we got a Leopard, we got an M1A1. Don't see Major. I do apologize. Okay. T.A.G.A. Can we get a scout on him? We can get a scout on him. If they can get... Okay, he's gone. Doing pretty good for scouted kills so far. Yeah, I don't think you want to be over there, guys. That's not really a great place to be for long life and happiness. That leopard needs to go. But do I want to waste the shell it would take to get reloaded? I think I do. Okay, we have a T90M over there. Challenger. And we have a Recon Micro up, but so do I. T.T.G.A, would you mind pushing out into the open there, sir? Please and thank you. 90M. Oh. This makes me want to get very greedy right here, but I know I shouldn't. See, we've got those two guys back there. Oh, wait. Wait a second. Nope, they got him. That's good. Ooh. ZDZ is not happy with me being here. I can't imagine why. Neither is that Abrams. He is very displeased with my presence. Well, we wouldn't want to oblige him with killing me, so let's get back here to replace that crewman we lost. This is not going terribly for us at the moment. The thing is, I'm trying to give my team as much good intel as they can get, because the enemy is all packed up right here. If we can get them flanked properly, we can take out a lot of people. I do mean a lot of people right here. They don't have any SPAA up, I don't think. No, they don't. They don't at all. Well. Oh, he is right there. Okay. We're gonna start flaring anyway. just because if I don't, someone will immediately spawn in an SBAA. Yeah, I know, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna hit all of these guys.
Okay, I call this one low-hanging fruit.
That ain't a finger hole, you sick bastard! Stop.
Okay, that's actually pretty good. Very good. Well, we made some people very nervous right there, which is largely what we were aiming for. Can't call that in yet. Not particularly happy about that. I'd like to be able to really start hurting people soon. Thank you, Eric Hale. Hope it took some pressure off some people for a little bit, at least. Need probably switch out for the anti-air shells, because if I don't, he's gonna cause me problems. See if we can call in another helicopter, because they're not really able to take Alpha at the moment, and we're doing a good job of keeping them scouted so the team knows where the threats are coming from. Oh. Okay. That's some good hits. Good solid hits right there. ZSU. I should have known better than to try and dodge that. He will chew me up, eat me for lunch, and spit me out still hungry. Thank you kindly. Ah, we shrapneled him. Okay. Let's see what that does. Well, we hurt him. Okay, let's see if we can get in here. I'm trying to get close to the treetops here. It's harder for them to actually hit you if you are in cover. Okay, let's get down, start popping flares. Okay, we're good. We are better than good, probably, actually. It's considered. Very nice. Clear. Kill assist. Good. Okay, I'm not afraid to move up as much now, although I probably should be, because there's a Leopard 2 PSO over there. It would help if I could actually stay somewhat stable, but going over these rice fields is going to make that impossible. Okay. That T-80 really needs to go, and the Leopards as well. Target destroyed by intelligence. Very nice. That gives us intelligence X4 and a ton of scouting, which is good. Which can be just as lucrative as killing them yourself, which is a very important thing to know. You, buddy, hear me out here. Look, it's already over. Don't fight it. Just close your eyes. And accept it. Accept your fate. You were doomed to this. I could have taken him out right there if I'd had like a nanosecond more time. Not bad. 20 hits, 50 scouting, 2 kill assists. That's pretty darn good. Take that all day long. Very good experience there. Good research towards our next tank. Not too many people tuning up today, but that's unsurprising. So that will give us 120mm cannon, 12.7mm machine gun, 7.62 machine gun, and not a whole lot else. The shells are interesting. The dozer blade doesn't really interest me that much, because it doesn't seem like it will actually be that useful. On most maps, that seems like a very map-specific ability. I guess you could use it as extra armor in the front, which, honestly, considering how much I get pinned from the front, would probably be handy on the Abrams. Other than that, there's not a whole lot I'm seeing here that I really want over the current iteration that I have. Although I suppose it will probably be an upgrade from the 120S in a lot of ways. Although grinding for the spike shells is just a little annoying. Every single time, man, it's like, here, we're gonna give you. You're gonna give me spikes, right? I'm up against modern tanks, I need spikes. No, you're gonna get heat. Is it the good heat rounds? No, you're gonna get the bitch basic fin-stabilized heat shells. The ones that can't pin basically anything at this tier. That's what we're gonna give you. And you have to go and hunt light tanks pretty much exclusively from now on out. Have a good time. Lamau, get wrecked, buy a premium. It's like, no, I don't think I will. Which is your primary incentive to get good scrub. Which is what you kind of have to do in this game anyway, if you don't want to wind up spending more money than, well, my country does on its national defense budget every year. Okay. I am concerned, because no one is pushing Charlie. And we have a Leopard 2A6 up here. Hopefully, they are super slow about getting over here, which will mean that I will be able to just push pretty far up towards their spawn. Somehow, I don't think that that is going to happen. Because that T-80 is right there. And I mean right there. There is an M1 aim over there, and whatever that is, that's one of ours. It's level 2A5. Okay, M26, T99. T80 is concerning, but he should be able to be dealt with if we can get up over here and not get killed. Big concern is... Oh, okay, that's good. That was my concern. That concern is largely ameliorated. However, they know we're here now. That is a T-26. That's an American tank. Like, an early tier American tank. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Hi! How's that turret ring feeling right about now, buddy? Not great? What a shame. What a crying shame, laddie. Okay. I think we might have this locked down for the moment, but I don't want to take too many chances, because that artillery will get very close to me. Okay, that's where they're all piled up. That explains it. They got overextended. So, if you'll notice where most of these guys are, chat, it is right over between Alpha and Bravo. There's a big patch there. There's all these little guys right here by spawn. Now, if I wanted to be just the meanest person on planet Earth, I would do this. Hi, Lab AD. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Yep. Got greedy. Couldn't quite clear that. Oh. Ow. Okay, they did get him. Good. Good team. Good team. I'm in first place with 3 kills at the moment, which is good. Very nice. Very, very nice. We're gonna just push up a little bit here. Arid Hail is frickin' toast right there. Which makes me think that there's probably something a lot larger and a lot scarier than him around this corner. What are you? Oh, there's 3 of them. There's 3 of them right there. Okay, this is a moment where you regret your life decisions. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. Yep. D80E1. Yeah, that's how that goes. Okay. Oh no, not bad for our first tank. 3 kills, 1 death. I will take those odds. Oh, he's out. Okay. Okay, we can make this work. Okay. Bradley. Bradley fighting vehicle. Toast. And the leopard got us.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
A leopard happened to bend over. Normally, I would... Yeah, I'm not going to take the SPA because we don't need it. We've already got a bunch of SPA yet. Hopefully, they know what they're doing. Which, at the moment, it doesn't seem like they do, but let's just hope that they are smart enough to keep the helicopters off our hindquarters long enough for us to get to Bravo and kill everything there. Which means I'm going to need to drive very carefully. Okay, he's out. That's good. Because I want to get right around, not that map, right there. That's where we really want to get, if we can. Because this map, right around there is king. Because you can shoot into Alpha. Mr. Type 90, could you be so good as to not do that, please? What? Man, that tank tread was real resilient. Ate my entire shell. You know, there's nothing suspicious there. Nothing at all, chat, we promise. Sometimes this game... I love it, but it does occasionally just make me go, what? Huh? Okay, we hurt him. Set V2. I'd like to get a kill there, please, video game. If it would be okay with you. Can you, like, I don't know, top his ammo, possibly? No, but you can definitely take out his. We're on fire. Oh, I hate artillery. Let me kill him, damn it. No, it's not going to. This Leopard 2A5 takes me out. That's embarrassing. Okay. Maybe Arid Hail will have better luck than I. Hopefully. Gonna have to be real careful with that leopard. He's having to repair. I wonder what got broken. Someone is surely hitting him with a lot of missiles. bet you that that is probably something like a T.T.G.A or a Russian hind. That's what seems most likely at the moment. I'm still at the top with 5 kills, so I can't complain too much. Although if we're lucky, Arid Hail will surpass me there. It'd be nice if we could get best squad on this. They're capping every point at the moment. Interesting. We are recapping Alpha and Bravo. Charlie is holding as theirs for the moment, but I don't know how long that will last. Charlie is clear, though. Okay. So yeah, this map has basically 2 main approaches at the moment. If you can get here, you can push up and take Bravo and Charlie by going basically straight across from Alpha. It's part of the reason why most teams Zerg rush that at the beginning. Then you have the not insignificant problem of Charlie. Charlie is probably, once you get there, the most defensible position on the map. But Charlie has the problem of being something that just gets... I think Arid Hail is done. Perhaps. Yeah. I think he's out of vehicles. But the problem with Charlie is actually getting there, because it is very easy to shoot people going into Charlie from both of the spawns. So you have to keep that in mind on that map. Abandoned Town is an interesting one to play for sure. And it changes how you play it from early to late tier. Like, if you're playing around, like, 9.0, you're gonna get a ton of mouses on that map, usually, if you're playing with German players. And the problem with that is the mouse tanks will just push up towards Charlie, and they can just sit there and eat everything. Ah, 2S38, that explains it. Yeah, little gremlin vehicle. Very good tank. Just a pain in the rear to fight. Love having them on my team. But they're very soft. If you can actually get a hit on them with something like a Lav AD, you can take them out pretty quickly. Just make sure you kill that cannon. The cannon can shred most tanks in the game. From the front, which is a little insane. But yeah, we're going to research probably the XM975 next. And then we'll research this one right here, and then we will be down into the bottom 2. Cargo port. I don't like that particularly over much. Not one bitty. This version of this map is so difficult for me, because this version of Cargo Port basically forces everyone to go to A, and Alpha is not very easy to hold when the enemy has their undivided attention on it. When you're dealing with the normal variant of this map, it's a lot easier to do because the enemy team is spread out. They're not able to really focus on any one point too much, and so you can bleed them out from Alpha. But on this version of the map, they are able to give it their undivided attention, which makes it a lot more difficult to hold. Because you will get buried under weight of numbers by the end. Hopefully we can do well here. on it like a chicken on a June bug. Hi. That was a good running shot. Gotta get turned, gotta get turned, gotta get turned, gotta get turned. I shouldn't have poked out there, but I didn't really have a choice. I was half poked out, he would have shot me in the treads. They don't seem to be flanking that hard, which is an interesting choice. Normally they're pushing all in from up around here. Doesn't look like they're doing that this match, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and do that, if we can. Very carefully. Just up just above the buildings there. And we want to have a good look. We got a leopard to a 5. Okay. So we know what's out there now, which is good. If somebody brought a heavy tank of some kind in here, I'd like to know what that is. Oh, that's a 2C. Oh no. Oh no, you didn't. Yeah, he did. He brought a 2C Bis in here. I think that's the World War I tank. It is. That's the World War I Swedish tank. Why? Do you like pain, sir? Why are you like this? Every German player ever. One thing I will say. Germany seems to be, in a lot of cases, just a gear check. Because its players are... That's enough of that, young man. Quite enough of blip from you. Oh, that's a Challenger 2. That is a M1A1. Oh, and we missed the jet. That's... Let's see, can we get a bomber? Can we get a bomber, please? Give me a bomber, give me a bomber, give me a bomber. Bomber, please. Right now. Thank you. Okay. Bombs away in 3, 2, 1. Now, who gave you permission to get up in our spawn? Okay. It's a bunch of hits, but no kills, it looks like. Which is a little annoying, because I'm pretty sure I got pretty close to direct on a couple of those. Should have, at least. Okay. What are you? Why should I care? Bet you're scary. Probably a lot bigger than me. Probably better armor than me. You're probably a leopard. If I had to guess, probably a leopard. Nope, T-72 term state. Hear him. I couldn't see him. Little bothering. I wonder, is there someone in our backline? Normally. Someone who tries at this point of the day. The match is not going their in favor. They try to push around into the back. Okay, I can't get on that recon micro. And they are putting up a bomber, as expected. See if I can beat the ADATs to the punch here. Probably can't, because he just has better everything than me. But we will try anyway, because funny. Where are you? There you are. Jaguar. Got it off a second before, but there's someone in the other spawn.
Requesting air support.
No,
Mine.
no.
Thank you very much for the blurb there, Bendover.
Aviation is on the way.
Okay. You, sir. They have no SPAA up at the moment. Okay. Oh, they do. Hello. Hello. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little mean. That was a little mean. SU-152, he didn't deserve that. It's a lie, he probably did. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, don't bring...
Cheese for everyone!
Actually, do bring cheese for everyone. Thank you very much for the blurb, Airtail Red Phelan.
Aviation on the way.
Now, you, sir. There's a bunch of them there. Okay. All of you guys on Alpha, can I get you to do a brother a solid and... Oh, we hurt him. We didn't kill him, though. Which is a little annoying. I'm having a hard time with this match for some reason. Mine. No one else shall have the fruits of my hard-earned labor. I will die on that hill, probably. Quite violently.
Aviation is on the way.
Doesn't matter. They're out. They're out. Nothing you do will save you. Ooh. Sucks to be you guys. Okay.
Leopard, 7 o'clock.
He's going to be pushing right up there very quickly. Okay. Okay, he's down.
T.T.G.A, 6 o'clock. Range.
Ooh. Got his gunner. And we got a kill assist. Very nice. Good show, gentlemen.
Aviation on the way.
Now, how would you guys feel about getting off the frigging spawn and getting out of the capture point? Because we need that. And you being there, really not good. Really not good for us. And we would kind of like to have that back, because it was ours there for a while. And you being there is a real bother. Kind of a drag, quite honestly. There you go. No thank you, I'm good. Oh, he's right there. M1A2? No, I'm good, sir. I am very good. Just, you can stay right there, bud. What are you? Oh, it's a puma. Of course it is. Puma being a puma. Come on. Oh, that's BS. That is BS. Still, we held out longer than most, and we did do all right there. 2 air targets, I believe. 2 ground. 4 ground. 2 kill assists. Critical. That's good. We'll take it. Turret to turret. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Remember, Chad, if you could be so kind as to like the stream, it would be greatly appreciated. Because it does help. Oh, yay, let's do it again. But from the same side, because of course. Why not? Okay. Well, I know what we're going to do this time. Right from the beginning, we're going to take the HSTVL, and we're going to scout everything. They seem to really like giving us cargo port today. Hopefully this doesn't become like that one time we kept getting given, what's the map? Attica. Airtail and I were playing one session, and we got given nothing but Attica for, I believe it was 7 or 8 straight missions. yeah, that was less than fun. Okay. T.80, Stridswagen 1 quantity A. The STRV. I do not like the STRV. Where'd he go? Ah, there you are. I'm gonna push around this side of the building real quick. This pile of shipping containers, actually. And we're gonna go up through here, and go back around to that side. Breakthrough up there. Wonder. Don't want to give them complete control of that over there, because if we do, it'll make things awkward. Okay, he is scouted. Let's not push straight into the teeth of those guys and their guns, because that would be a very bad idea. Instead, we're going to push straight up through here. Your friend over there needs to go. Okay, there's Stridswagen, and what is the other tank? So we know there's another tank. Okay, that's the Stridswagen nearly dead. Someone could push up and kill them, that would be great. Get most of the hard, heavy lifting there. Good. Alright, Aerodale, I think, can finish him off relatively easily. You know what? I feel like indulging my inner rat today. Bradley time. That's taking a vehicle into an up tier. It's the Bradley that's fully spaded. That isn't the up tier you think it is, my dude. Okay. Plus, we have this, which means that we can do all the funny things with peeking around corners and such. Okay. So, you all want to pack up into tight spaces with a bunch of your friends, you can do that, but, I am going to punish you for doing so. Vigorously. Missile evasion. Oh, that's our drone getting the missile evasion. There we go. Scouted target. 80K. We just have to be careful and play this like it's an ambush predator, because it is. Hail, Rick. Good to see you, dude. Hail, brother Rick. I hope you're having a good day, my dude. Oh, that M1HC is worrying me quite a lot, actually. Aerodale's got his Bradley. Let's see. We'll get in a good flanking position around these guys, because I'm unsure at the moment whether or not we can. There we go. He's down. Enemy SPA-8 fried. Challenger, I'm on your side, brother. How you doing, Rick? I hope you're having a good evening, my man. Oh, that big old line over there. Big old pretty line of tanks. Oh, hello. Hello, my darling. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Aww. He didn't want me to have fun anymore. Hopefully Aerodale can deal with him. He can probably kill him, I would bet. Nope. Nope, he got him. That Abrams needs to go, and I have just the tool for the job. Get timed out, Rick. What? Ben. Gentlemen, there is a joke that I am not in on. Did Rick say something that annoyed someone? Would someone do that? You're not that spicy. Oh, it's the ADATs in our spawn. That explains it. He needs to go, like, now. did you say something to offend someone's tender sensibilities, dear brother? You didn't say something to Tomby about microwaving tea, did you? Good man. He's gone. 1A1HC. Oh, that's not good at all. I don't like that. I don't like that to be alive. Yes, I assumed it was, but... Can you... Thank you! Thank you. Biscuits and sausage gravy. What did he say to offend who on that? These biscuits and sausage gravy are absolutely awesome. Thank you. Please push forward. My friend here is hungry. Okay. Whoa, hold on. Hold the That's bullshit. Okay, that is bullshit. I was in cover when he shot me. Interesting video game. Very interesting. Alright. Okay. Server must have lagged there at Hill, because that is some... Das ist Bullscheiße. We're getting so close, chat. Scone isn't as good as biscuits and sausage gravy. Based! Based! Besides, what they call scones, they're not scones. Scones are... British people are weird. The older I get, the more I realize that we shouldn't take a European or an English person's opinion on food or politics or life when it comes to anything. America is superior. And this is one of the cases in which American exceptionalism is absolutely correct. We have the best food, and literally everything else. I mean, the only places that really surpass us in anything, and that's only because we're too stupid to actually do it ourselves right now, is Japan with comics and anime and... Yeah, I can't think of anywhere else doing anything better than us right at the moment. Off the top of my head. Okay, let's see if we can get to Bravo without getting perforated by someone in, like, a light vehicle or anything. Yeah. Ah. Airtail is in his HSDVL. I wonder if he has the... Hey, dude, do you have the Recon Micro yet? I haven't had biscuits in a while. I need to make biscuits. Biscuits and like thick mushroom gravy, because I have a ton of mushrooms at the moment, chat. I have, like, last night, due to the little mushroom emergency I talked about earlier, I got like probably around 7 pounds of chanterelles, and they were big ones. Like, I was finding chanterelles this big around at the top of the cab, which was absolutely bonkers. So anyone have this weekend as the time of the start of World War III on their bingo cards? I don't think it's going to get that bad yet. The thing is, Trump did this basically same thing at the beginning of his last, midway through his last term with the whole Syria thing. And everyone was like, it's going to be World War III then too, and it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna be what materializes. I think everyone will do a lot of saber rattling for a while, and then they'll calm down. Fried chicken, barbecue, brisket, pecan pie, biscuits, and gravy. America rules. We do. No, Rick, I'm not one of those people who enjoys that particular type of mushrooms. Though I did see a lot of amanitas, just not that kind, I don't think. Up there. Bolates. A lot of bolates this time of year. A lot of bolates, and what are the other ones I'm thinking of? I can't remember the technical term for them, but the witch's caps. The ones that are full of, like, ink at the top. It's basically rotted rainwater. And mushroom spooge. Oh. TXP and whatever you are. If I were a betting man, I would say you are unfriendly. Extreme, but I can't tell if you're on that side. Oh, you are. Hi, Leopard. Hi, Leopard 2K. How you doing, buddy? Don't run away from me on that. That's wood. Very wood. Thank you. No running away, please. Thank you. Good man. Problem solved. And called for sleeper cells being... Yeah, that's what I heard, but on the one hand, I don't want a major country of a certain religious persuasion to have too many nukes. That's that fundamentalist. And on the other hand, I'm not happy that it was us that basically had to do it, is the thing. I am someone who think war bad in most cases. Interventionist actions anywhere is bad. But that's because of where I stand when it comes to most armed conflicts. I don't believe in policing actions. I believe that if you're going to go to war, you should be going to war with the intention of taking something permanently and actually solving a problem. Pretty much every armed conflict since World War II has not done the one thing you do to actually win long term. And there's another kill. Nice. Good stuff there. I don't want to get too strung out here because we are not in the best shape when it comes to ammo. And on long-range maps, you burn a ton of ammo, so I would like to not be too exposed. My basic feelings on the whole Iran thing are, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it has the intended effect, but our foreign policy for the last half-century hasn't been particularly successful in a lot of cases. We're like, oh, we can go in here and depose this dictator, and everyone will just open us with... welcome us in with open arms. And when they don't, we're like, oh god, why did that happen? We never liked you to begin with. Why are you retarded? The definition of insanity, dingus. Nesher, sir, please, don't. I have much more strident viewpoints on that, but I can't talk those openly on YouTube because I will get hit with the naughty stick. But, you know, c'est la vie, such is the world we live in. Okay, what are you? That's 105D. God, I love that thing so much. Military is supposed to kill people and break things, not be Meals on Wheels. Well, the thing is, the problem with our current military doctrine is that we think we can do every conflict like what we did in Germany. What we did in Germany was, We went in, we broke everything, we dismantled everything, and once we dismantled everything, once we broke everything, we were like, okay, now that you're done being stupid, we're going to rebuild you, and we're going to give you basically Western American everything, technology, you name it. That's part of the reason why Germany bounced back after World War II as well as it did. But the problem is, every conflict since, we've done part one of going in and breaking a lot of things, but we haven't been very good at actually following through afterwards and dismantling. Isn't that telling the leftards and commies and the usual evil can say whatever they want? But we need to watch our words? It is telling. It is very telling. You know. Marshall Plan was a major failure. Well, the problem with a lot of what happened after World War II is that we didn't follow through as well as we should have in a lot of cases. And we didn't actually push to deal with certain things. Like, we didn't go after the communists after World War II like we should have. After World War II, there were a lot of people, very smart people, very military-minded people, who were like, look, you know, George S. Patton, for example, who was like, look, we need to deal with this problem now, or in 25 years, we're going to have a major issue on our hands here. And they just chose not to do that. And ever since then, we've had basically every major problem in that part of the world has come out of that particular issue. And the reason that didn't happen is because FDR and a lot of people in politics at the time were socialists. They just were. FDR was a socialist, you know, and many of the other people in the Democratic Party and in the Republican Party at the time were progressives who were on their way to socialism. So no one was really willing to push back against that. And a lot of the people who could have done something had mysterious accidents or, you know, got run over by a Jeep for reasons. Odd things happen in the aftermaths of war. Okay, we've got an, oh yes, a Leopard 2PL. T-80. What's that? T-80-1. I'd like to know what that SPAA is back there to see if I can kill him by getting a lucky shot off with our cannon. Challenger needs to stay scouted because he is a major threat to everyone on this side of the map. He has really good armor, a really good cannon, and if he positions himself properly over here, he can kill all of us. Which is why you always have to keep positioning in mind, not just your own, but everyone else's. Playing Warthunder is like driving. You have to be aware of where everything is. Where you are, your enemies are. And I get a... That's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Can we get pulled back behind this hill here? We can at least have that T.G.A, whatever that is, providing us some supporting fire. Thank you, my dude. You are a legend, sir. Oh.
Fire control system repaired. Stabilizer prepared.
But the other thing is, I don't think a lot of people realize the kind of culture you're dealing with when you try and change something like the Middle East. Because you're not dealing with a Western culture. With Germany, you're dealing with a culture with similar values, belief systems, that kind of thing, to you. But with Iran or somewhere like that. Not so much. They're not really Western countries. Ah, that's foul. Didn't want to have to deal with that. We did get his ammo load, which is good. I would have preferred to not get goinked by that missile. I'm going to push around this side because I think they're not pushing as hard up in here as they should be, and I'm going to punish them for that. So on this map, there's two main places you want to try and hit pretty hard. So over by Bravo, if you get in this area right here, you can usually hold if you have a semi-competent team. And if you move over to Charlie, but you get back behind all of this here, you can basically push all the way up into their spawn, and there's not a whole lot they can do to stop you. Now, all of this requires a competent team to work, but if you have one, and ours doesn't appear to be completely brain damaged, you can do very well. But yeah, I'm of the opinion that warfare should be fought with a clear victory condition in mind. And one of the things that bothers me about this whole Middle East thing is, and it bothers me about pretty much every conflict we've been in since World War II, is that we never really have had a clear victory condition. In most cases. Oh, gunner down. Can you stop shooting me, sir? Okay, I'm gonna just shoot him in the barrel to make sure real quick here. 1 second, chat. No, somebody else did it. Can you maybe just play a harp and let me throw things at you? No, he's not gonna let me do that. It's so much easier if I could... It's his gunner. It's gotta be his gunner. 2S25, in, view, and he took out my barrel. You absolute turd hamster. That's annoying. See, he can't kill me at this distance if he keeps shooting my barrel like that, but he can absolutely cause me enough pain to where I can't kill him. Leopard, you like living dangerously, young man. Okay, we're just gonna start lighting up that area right there. Don't care. Your missiles mean nothing to me. Let's see what makes you cheer. And we got one. Don't know who we got, but we did get someone. I think we got Estrella. Okay, 2S5M. You are gone. So, what do we got up here? We got a T.G.A something, I think. And whatever that SPAA is. Whatever. Okay, we got an Abrams. And we have, yep, T.G.A. Abrams and the T.G.A. Okay, T.G.A is down. Abrams is not. Sitting at 3 kills, quite comfortable where we're at right now. And we have that ITO. Thank you for watching. Thank you all very much. It's greatly appreciated. Oh. Can you not, Mr. AH1? I know that being annoying is kind of your patent thing at the moment, but I'd really like it if I could not deal with your stuff right now. Pushed up too much there. Got greedy. Very greedy. Thankfully, we're only 2,000, so I can take out the M1, I think. Or, we don't have any XPAA up. They have a bunch of medium tanks. I'm going to take the Abrams. Don't think I need to try and get too fancy with this here. If we can. And I don't think their SPAA is going to be that much of a problem if I get the right helicopter. I can probably kill it. Got lucky with that last one there. Okay, you need to go. Thank God for Russian helicopters. Did hit someone. Did not kill him. We got a T-90 in. He is pushing hard to D1. Okay. T.G.A needs to go to can. They're gonna lose this one probably if they don't immediately get on capping. Oh yeah. Airtail is probably about to get fried unless he gets saved by the bell. Saved by the bell. He died, but I don't think that counted. Nice. No, not nice. That's gonna go straight into recycling. 1 second, chat. Give me a booster that's actually useful, damn it. We are making good progress on Silver Lions at the moment. Okay. So, we're about 100,000 experience out. That's good. That's good. Very acceptable. Maginot. And it's all at alpha. Okay. Okay, chat. This one's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna keep the anti-air rounds. Keep the anti-air rounds. Give all the big tanks. See, we're basically at top tier at this point. So we're seeing a lot more of the set V2s in here. Which I didn't know this, but apparently there's a set V3 now. And it is absolutely insane. Our armor for a lot of our modern tanks just blows me away. The stuff it can do. Not to mention we've got like active defense systems, all that sci-fi shit. It's very cool. We're still a long way out from, like, you know, railguns on cannons, but still, that is cool to me. The stuff we do have now. Sorry. Don't like that. I don't like them pushing up into the city at all, because they're going to get very comfortable there if we can't dislodge them, and I don't want them to be comfortable. The last thing you want your enemy doing is consolidating. Consolidation is the beginning of the end. Because if they get a good position that they can consolidate... I got out too far. Too far. Clear to their spawn. They can see me well. I'm gonna try something I don't usually do this early in the match. That didn't really do anything to him, but it is funny that he's just parked out there. So this is an all helicopters match, which means I need to be very careful about how I play it. Okay, we got a T.T.G.A, which I can pin, and I can kill with this. We have a bunch of Abrams alikes. What they've got for light vehicles, and if they have enough light vehicles that I can actually make funny with the killings out here. Because it looks like they have a lot of MBTs, and not a whole lot else. Can I get behind him? Can I get him to back up right there? That'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, that's good. That's good. You can keep shooting over here. I'm not coming out. Ooh. Come on. Need to check for helicopters. I don't think there are any up at the moment. Ah, there he is. He's trying to get sneaky. He's turned nice and broadside to me. He's also got his eyes on me like a Hollywood exec on a aspiring actress. That's not very good for our long-term health. Love to be able to get on him good, preferably from behind, because if you can actually... boy. Now see here, son. See here. Got him in the engine. If I could have got on him a little sooner and taken out his crew. Yes, verdant, not winter, verdant. Damn it. Okay. So they are trying to flank now. They have gotten to the point of, we can't hold as we are, so we're gonna try and flank now. Which is honestly what you should do at the beginning of the match. You should have flankers out at the beginning to keep people away from getting into your backline. You want to have pickets. You want to have good picketing. Okay. You, sir, can go. You, sir, can stop shooting at me with missiles. Yeah, we're gonna have to J out. Nope. Won't be able to hold there. Will not be able to hold there. Do I even want to know what the dog is going off about out there? Hopefully it's nothing too obscene. I don't have to go deal with the crackhead neighbor or something like that. If I do, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. You're retarded. Come on, T.T.G.A. UK. Push up. Nothing bad will happen to you, I promise. You'll be perfectly safe and warm and comfortable. No one will do anything mean to you ever. T.T.G.A. gone. And 1A2 is still very alive, and he needs to not be around anymore if we can. They have too many tanks for me to really feel comfortable pushing up too much further without trying to clear out over here. Because I would bet you a good day's wages that, yeah, they've got people out there. Yep, they parked up in a buyer spawn, and they're just gonna hold. That's what they're gonna do. They're being smart about how they flank. Very, very clever video game. Okay. But as far as the M1A1 goes, we are currently roughly 6,000 experience out from our next shell, and after we get that cleared out, that'll give us a 9,000% bonus on 9,000 bonus on the next vehicle, and then we will be able to move on to grabbing this tier here, which will help a lot. Will go a long way towards making us more viable. Honestly, what I'm looking forward to most is these. These shells look really nice. And having a laser rangefinder on this will make it so much better. But we're getting close to getting the filters for the HSTPL. Airedale is out of that mission, so I'll start us looking for another one.
Son of a bitch. I'm afraid.
Pretty much, Airedale. Pretty much. I'm half tempted to go bum around in bottom tier at some point. Tempted. Sorely tempted to go and bully people in low tier. Why? Because that would be fun. I'm looking forward to going back and playing like Sweden and Germany. Germany is going to be a lot of fun because you get things like the Rakaten Automat and the Rakaten Jagdpanzer. Not to mention the entire Leopard line of tanks is just so unbelievably solid. France is probably like the last one I'll research because they're the least interesting to me. They have things like the Eurofighter and the Leclerc, but it's just not as cool as the stuff you get with Germany. I don't want to scare people, but I advise you learn the acronym NEST and watch their movements. I don't know what that means, Rick, so... I can't really comment on it. Ugh. Interesting. Oh boy. Oh. I will be right back, chat. Give me just a second. I need to go hit the head.
Into your vehicles. Ready up. Driver ready. Gunner ready.
I will say, one thing that's been interesting to watch recently, chat, is I don't know if any of y'all have been paying attention to it, but the ongoing situation between, and contrast between Bethesda, and I didn't think I'd be saying this in 2025, but Bethesda has been doing something really smart, which is a perfect difference between Bethesda and Microsoft and Sony and FromSoft. NEST refers to Nuclear Emergency Support Team, a U.S. Department of Energy organization. NEST is the U.S.'s specialized resource for responding to nuclear or radiological emergencies, including terrorist threats. Oh, fun. It'd be nice if I would actually not be able to fly into trees immediately. Well, I will have to look into that later, Rick. But Bethesda has been very smart in a way that I did not expect. So, after the whole Skyblivion things first started leaking, there were a lot of people who were very worried, myself included, that Bethesda would take this opportunity to do the Oblivion remake and then shut down the modding teams working on the fan projects, but that has not been the case. Instead, what Bethesda has done has been they gifted all of the modders free copies of Oblivion Remastered, and Todd Howard had a bunch of the members of the modding team flown out to Bethesda Softworks, and they basically have been hanging out and being like, so this is how we do this here, this is how we're doing this here, here's how we've been going through our version of the development process as opposed to Bethesda's standard version. It's been really cool to watch, and it's a good example of what companies should do, because I think this will probably have a positive effect in that the Skyblivion team is a lot more in touch with what the fans want than Bethesda is in a lot of ways. And I think that if they take the right lessons from this, they could go, this whole trip and whole, you know, basically bromance between the two of them could go a long ways towards fixing the issues that Bethesda's been plagued with. Basically act as a little reality check, which they can really use right now. Come on, T.T.G.A. You know you want to, buddy. Which is very different to what Sony and FromSoft did with the Bloodborne team, who was modding it to run at 60 FPS. They're like, you are getting shut down. Here's a cease and desist order. We just finished it, dude. We don't care. Where's my money, Brian? Speaking of BS retarded copyright things that have been happening recently, the situation regarding Janovich is retarded, Games Workshop, and you should basically write that dude and tell him, hey, okay, that's one, and tell him, hey, you can do your thing, because the Warhammer community is much poorer for that man being gone. Thank you!
First, get a job. Patrick, that's a nuclear silo.
Yes.
Nuclear launch detected.
No. Well, that's thoroughly unpleasant. Okay. They're all pushed up really close there. It's really nice if you guys would, like, not be. I just can't stop from hitting shit today. Flying is not something that's on the cards for me today for some reason. Thankfully, I don't think they have any SPA up, so... Nope, they do. They do now. They do now. For show, for show. Can we get a target lock on somebody down there? Preferably quickly, please. I'd really like to get a target lock on that ADATS. I don't think anyone will. Lovely little blurb, indeed. Okay, we are holding up there, which is good. Which is good. Ooh, that's a lot of rejects. Wonder if there'll be anyone up there when I get back. Nope. Nope, we're good. We did get 2 kills, and we did a very good job of holding that choke point. So that's not a map I can complain about too much. Yeah. I don't mind that one little bit. 99,000 out from our next tank. That's... I don't know if we'll get that done today, but we are doing all right there. Not bad at all. I would like to see a lot more studios and companies doing that when it comes to fan projects, being more open to them and more just willing to learn from them. I think if Games Workshop actually did that with, you know, studios like people like Janovich who are doing fan animations and whatnot, they would have been a lot better off than what happened with the whole TTS fan channels shenanigans, because that is going to hurt them for a long time. And now they're like, but we're replacing them with our broader audience. It's like, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you, because that broader audience, the Amazon secret level audience, doesn't really buy your product. And while you think you can just switch out to being an IP owning company, you're not really able to do that, because so much of what you are and what you make is tied up with the very being of your universe, that if you try to get away from that, you will violate the core principles of what you are. It's the issue you have with companies like what Amazon tried to do with Rings of Power, okay? So much of what the Lord of the Rings is and what it does are tied so tightly together that when you try to remove one from the other, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work, because what you've done is you've taken a story that's supposed to be mythology for England, and you've made it this, you know, multicultural clusterfuck. And it doesn't work well, because it violates everything that story is supposed to be. And I think 40K is having that problem with what they're trying to do now, because they're trying to broaden it out to appeal to a wider audience. And what they're doing is they're alienating their current audience and replacing them with people who don't really care about the setting. Space Marines wouldn't be the main characters of 40K if the models didn't sell well. Okay? That's the truth. Space Marines would not be the focus if their models didn't sell well. But their models sell really well. And so people buy those models, and so the Space Marines are the protagonists and the main characters. That's basically 40K right now. Imperial Guard, cast by the wayside. Let's give them Cadia and nothing else. What about the Armageddon Steel Legion? They're not going to get up-to-date models. How about the Mordian Iron Guard? Nope, not them either. Vostroyans? Well, you can probably get a few old models off of eBay or something, but they're going to be extremely overpriced. Or fortune-ruled. Excuse me. But yeah, all those original models, not happening. You're getting Space Marines. Here, have another Primaris Lieutenant. But now they're like, but we can switch out and do all of these other things. And it's like, no, you can't, because what you are and what you do is too tied together to really be able to separate one from the other. And your current universe isn't that healthy either. This is the issue I think a lot of people had with, for example, Andor. Okay? Andor as a TV show. Female Custodes, yeah, that's a good example. Doesn't work. It violates the lore. It violates what the Custodes are. And it doesn't just violate the lore, it violates what the Custodes are. The Custodes are the brotherhood of the Emperor's bodyguards. Can't have a brotherhood if it's full of chicks. Doesn't work. Now, that's not to say that all of 40K is that way, but there's enough of 40K that is that way that it is causing problems now. The corruption is setting in. Slowly but surely. Hi. I guess someone just left the lights on and no one was home. T.T.G.A had not much in the way of self-preservation instincts. Hi. Can't shoot through the roof for some reason. Normally you can. Sep is dead. Yeah, that is something that has bothered me for a while now. But Andor. Yes, I was making a point about Andor. Andor would have worked as a story a lot better. Now, it still had issues that a lot of people, I think, who reviewed it, even some friends of mine, didn't clearly talk about. But Andor's issue is that Andor only works as a story inside of a healthy Star Wars IP. Because you're not going to care about Andor if Han, Luke, and Leia are dead. You're not going to care about Andor if Rey Palpatine is the last Skywalker. Thank you. If you want people to care about what you've created, you have to keep the core clear and healthy. You know, you can have your offshoots. You can have your, you know, your little side stories if the core of the universe is healthy. But the core of the universe hasn't been healthy in Star Wars for a while, and the core universe in 40K is not currently as healthy as it should be. It has a lot of issues at the moment. And I don't think they're really doing enough to repair the damage done by, for example, the Gathering Storm. Or sort of that time period of 40K. The Matt Ward era still is remembered as that god-awful time period when the Ultramarines had everything, or the time period of CS GOTO, when, yeah, you had all these issues, and Games Workshop and were not willing to fix them. And they haven't really admitted fault in any of those cases. Like, those people don't work there anymore. Oh. Turned that bad boy up on its nose there for a second. That was pretty. Okay, can we get a bomber up? The High Republic stuff hasn't sold that well. It's sold well enough in some very specific books and instances, but as a whole, it hasn't sold nearly as well as they would like. Okay, let's see what those bombs do. 3 targets destroyed. But right, and Andor would have probably, if it had come out around the time period of like the Phantom Menace or those stories, it probably would have done all right. Probably would have done just fine, in fact. Actually, probably would have been liked better than the prequels by some people. Not me. I think it's a little too pretentious for my particular taste. Then again, the prequels were in their own way. That's not good. Yeah, he got me. 5 kills. They can't say I didn't try. I was top of the team. Let's go Summer Verdant. They're all up in the spawn, so it won't really matter that much. Here you go. Spawn protection time. crit. That's another kill. Yes, I am cheesing the system with the spawn protection there. No, I do not apologize. It is perfectly justified. Can we get a good... Oh, no, we can't. Let's get that repair in. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bomber time. Okay. 8 kills. Like I said, not my fault we lost that one. Very good. You can do spin-offs like Andor or like Secret Level, which has its own issues I won't get into, when your primary franchise is healthy, but they're not healthy right now. Star Wars isn't healthy right now. 40K isn't healthy right now. 40K has had problems ever since The Gathering Storm. The Gathering Storm pissed a ton of people off. The End Times in Warhammer Fantasy pissed a lot of people off. And those franchises have not recovered fully from those. Now, 40K is doing very well in the pop culture awareness department. Most people are very aware of 40K right now. You've had games like Darktide, Rogue Trader, which we've been streaming. It's a very good game, a very well-written game, because it's not written by the Countless X, who fucked up the lore in actual, like, mainline 40K. And Space Marine 2. People have been very happy with all those games because the out of 40K stuff isn't written by the bad authors. But when it comes to the mainline universe, it's in a lot rougher shape because it's been poorly done by the Gav Thorpes, the, what's his name? Aaron Dembski-Bowden, who can write chaos well. He loves chaos, lives his chaos, but he hates mainline factions like the Imperium or anyone who's not, Night Lords. And so he can't write them well, and he's the guy who basically made the Emperor Neoth, if I remember correctly. Yeah, let's make the first and greatest Emperor of mankind, who is probably rumored to be... Do you see the news of how many Marvel comic titles that just got axed to save money? No, I did not. The most recent ones, at least. I've seen some of that, for sure. Like, they haven't been particularly quiet about that. Marvel Comics is where I think 40K is going. Because Marvel Comics, the comics haven't been Marvel's moneymaker for a long time. It has been the movies. And so the comics have basically existed as a way to keep hold of the IP. The IP rights. And that's, I don't think that's going to end particularly well for Marvel Comics, because the comics are what they base the movies on. So you're going to have the James Gunn problem. James Gunn problem is what happens when you... Can we not get stuck on the banister there? I'm not even that far in... Sometimes. That's... It's gay. Oh, I don't like any of this. Okay, we got an SU-7. I probably should have accepted my better judgment here and taken the other tank. But that doesn't surprise me, because Marvel Comics is an IP management company now. Marvel canceled Daredevil, West Coast Avengers, and New Champions. Haven't heard of two of those. I know who Daredevil is. West Coast Avengers, I've heard of peripherally. But yeah, That doesn't surprise me. I can't imagine they've been that successful. Oh, that's not good. Way too much open ground here. Ultimate Spider-Man? Yeah. Is that the one that made him a cuck? Isn't that the one that made him a cuck? I think that's the one that made him a cuck. I know one of the very recent Spider-Man comics, like recent within the last couple of years, made Spider-Man a cuck. Which is that's a choice. That is a hell of a choice. Also, the guy who was like, oh yeah, we don't want, like, Peter Parker to, like, get married to Mary Jane, because that doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, we just don't like making the fans happy. We're fucking assholes. And I'm just sitting back here going, see, Marvel, this is why manga is eating your entire lunch right now. Because you refuse to do fan service. Meanwhile, manga and anime are over here like, you want to see the main character get together with the, you know, the main female protagonist? We've got you, you know, get your lazy ass down here. You know. You want to see boobs? We got boobs. And it's not just the TNA, it's like just anime and manga right now still have the capacity to be wholesome, you know, and be endearing and write stories that don't suck. And I think that's why anime and manga are doing so well right now, while Western comics are just not. I know there are some people out there, Razorfist, who would be like, you know, hey, but French comics. It's like, yeah, but French comics are not doing well in America, and we're the only country that matters, so, you know, bande dessinées are cool and all, but they're not really that big of a deal over here in the US, because they're not very well translated, oftentimes, into English. So you'll get like one or two, and then everything else is just, oh, that T90 is gonna eat me if the Puma doesn't. Puma, sir. Thank you, whoever got him. Got his breach. Perfect shot. Just what I wanted to do. Now, Mr. Bushima. That's a Japanese tank, I think. Would you like to not be alive, sir? I would like you to not be alive. That's probably all that matters. Oh, God save me from the shell bounce. And it's a real shame, because I'd love to see bande dessinées over in the West. I'd like to see Western comics, like American comics, doing well. I think it would be really cool, because I like Western art styles a lot more than I like Chinese or Japanese or Korean art styles in a lot of ways. Like, if you go look up, like, the art of a lot of the bande dessinées, like the Elric ones, or... Is that T90 down there still? No, they got it. Or... I don't like this. I'm having an it's too quiet moment. Or, oh, what's the one? Is it Conquest? Can't remember the name of the one BD, but it has just beautiful art. Really beautiful art, but it's not translated well into English. And I love its art style, but it's also not just poorly translated in English, it's very George R.R. Martin fantasy. And that's something else I think that Asia does well, that the West isn't doing well right now. And that is making fantasy for people who don't necessarily like all the gray morality crap. You know, one thing I like about anime and manga right now is that it is still making that is still wholesome and decent, and the main character is usually the good guy, as in actually the good guy, and not just, you know, oh, he's just a slightly grayer shade than the black-hearted villain he's fighting. You know, he's not as bad. See, that was new and exciting in 1996 when frickin' George R. R. Martin, George R. R. Martin and Michael Moorcock were doing it for the first time. But now it's old, tired hat. It's chewed boot leather at this point. I'd like to see something that's more uplifting and hopeful and not nihilistic. But to do that, you would need to get all of the HR ladies out of frickin' publishing and out of the comics industry and actually get stories that are uplifting and heroic again. And I really would like to see someone in the West be like, yeah, that whole thing anime and manga is doing, we can do that too. Which is really funny because the West is the originator of a lot of the genres that anime basically pulls from. Isekai is an Western, it's an American invention. It's an American invention. Isekai, we made that shit. We were the first ones to do that. John Carter of Mars, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely an isekai. It is, if you actually read John Carter of Mars, it fits the isekai mold a little too well. Like, you know, protagonist who's good at everything, gets transported into another world, picks up the hottest chick around, becomes the most powerful person there. Just by nature of, you know, he's an Earthling, and Earthlings are fucking scary, you know? Or, if you want to go more like, you know, historical, a Connecticut Yankee King Arthur's Court. Thank you very much, Aaron Hale. Absolutely an isekai. It's a time travel isekai, but it's an isekai. Which is very funny, because, you know, we're not doing stories like that anymore in the West. And we're certainly not doing them well. But Japan and Korea are over here like, yeah, you want that shit? The good shit? It's good escapism? You know, that's actually some ground you don't usually see trod over in the West? Yeah, we're doing that stuff over here. And the other thing Japan is, you know, not opposed to is fan service. And fan service towards straight people. You know, it's very funny to me how Hollywood has this aversion to healthy straight relationships, but, you know, anything of a certain rainbow persuasion is perfectly fine. And it can be the most fucked up shit imaginable. But, you know, okay. It's like, what the fuck is this? And I think it all goes back to the whole, we're trying to normalize the things we like while shaming anyone for liking normal stuff. We're trying to denormalize normalcy. I think that's what Hollywood is down for at the moment. The industry needs to divest itself of the Mags Visagios, the Zoe Quinns, the entire Whisper Network. Yeah, they do. That'll require a lot from them that I don't think they're really capable of at the moment. Take your filthy drone out of my face. I really don't want to push out there, but I think I'm going to have to, otherwise Aaron Hill is going to die, and he is my primary force multiplier over here. Oh, that T.T.G.A is going to kill me. Yeah, he is gonna kill me. I mean, and it's not just the Whisper Network there, but one of the big issues I'm having at the moment, and I'm trying to get to talk to people to actually get them to pay attention to this, because I think it's very important, is I have not seen anyone but me talk about the fact that basically the current head of Microsoft, Sarah Bond, is about as tied into the whole bridge/Sweet Baby Inc. thing as someone can get. And I think it's very important, is I have not seen anyone but me talk about the fact that basically the current head of Microsoft, Sarah Bond, is about as tied into the whole bridge/Sweet Baby Inc. thing as someone can get. And I think it's very important, is I have not seen anyone but me talk about the fact that basically the current head of Microsoft, Sarah Bond, is about as tied into the whole bridge/Sweet Baby Inc. thing as someone can get. They had their binge, now it's time for a proper, purge of the industry. It is. They need to divest themselves of the ideologues. If you look into, for example, Sarah Bond of Microsoft, I've been talking about this on streams for a while now, and I can pull up the articles and read them again, so we have read them before on stream. She is a former McKinsey & Co. employee, and McKinsey & Company is behind a lot of the studies that are what has been the justification for all of this shit for decades. And she's the head of Microsoft's game division. And no one's talking about this. I'm pretty much, as far as I know, the only person who's brought this up on stream. Also, the men with limp wrists that allowed them to get away with it. Yeah. Joe Quesada. Well, Joe Quesada back in the day was one of the people behind the whole lipsticks lesbians thing. He was the guy who basically made the whole, hey, Batwoman is a lesbian as her entire personality. Couldn't quite dodge that there. I don't think that one gets... I got bombed by the current ass. Of course I did. Of course I did. Okay. Is there any SPA up? We do not have any SPA up. Let's stop ourselves from getting bombed here. I'm gonna push over by where Urd Hill is, because if I'm moving, they can't shoot me. Okay, that's ours. That's been a major industry for the games industry for a long time, and for comics, and for pretty much all of the major industries in the US and abroad for a long time now. You have all of these people who have set themselves in positions of power where they can influence things towards their ideological bent. And because that is what has been the ideology in ascent, they've basically been unopposed until very recently. You've had Gamergate 1 and 2 in the last 2 decades. F4J. Hit him. Why did that not do anything? That's a tad strange. Maybe they were locking on to the Fafars? That's what's going on there? We'll say the rain effects are nice. But I think part of the reason why Gamergate's been so influential in the last 20-something years is because it's the first time they really faced any pushback, and it never really ended. Like, the articles about, how gamers are offered, and how all this garbage, how gamers don't need to be your audience, all of that stuff, has been going on ever since. The Sweet Baby Inks have been doing this shit since 2014? Like, they've been around forever, and they've been organized for much longer than a lot of the people on the right have been noticing. Like, if you go back to the Kim Bel-Air, basically, panel she did, and you look into that, it is very enlightening. Because that particular, basically, joint she was at talking, the conference there, is... how do I put this? Gotta use safe for YouTube words here. It is an extremely progressive event, is all I'm gonna say. Yes, the Bully Hunters group that, old, totally not a Fed Candace Owens was a part of. Yeah, it's one of those events that just gets you like, so you're a conservative? Yes. But you were working with Anita Sarkeesian? Yes. Interesting. It just doesn't make any sense. It's one of those, sure yar, honey. I'm one of you guys. Hasn't even bothered to change uniforms. and then has done everything in her power since then to basically sabotage the party she's supposedly a part of. It's like, don't think you are. Don't think you are at all. But yeah, the whole, the Sarah Bond thing is so funny to me because it's so blatantly obvious if you watch or read any of her articles. Like, any of her interviews, it's like, you know, I am a proud. Basically, she does the whole, come on, we can get to the other side, we can get to the other side, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. We did it. Ah. We're fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. 2. When did the ability to connect the dots become an extinct trait? About the same time as predictive analysis predicated upon prior performance became an extinct trait.
Starting. Roger, advancing.
No, wait. Give me a second. Air it hail. There you go.
Driver ace, stop.
I did a dumb here. Okay, we should be fine. In 3, 2, 1, and we are good to go. There we go. That was stupid. Yeah. Kind of like whenever I make a video about how a Marvel movie is going to bomb based upon how the previous Marvel movie bombed. And people are like, oh, you're an awful person. You're just someone who hates everything. How could you? And then, you know, after it bombs, they're like, okay, well, it underperformed, but it wasn't that bad. Or I get the occasional person in my comment section who's like, how did you know? How did you know? It's like, well, let's see. If the sun comes up in the morning and sets in the evening every single day, I can probably predict that, tomorrow morning, the sun is going to rise, and then in the evening it's going to set, and then the moon's going to come out, and then it's going to happen all over again. Because it's that simple. If Marvel has been basically successively producing nothing but flops, I can take a look at that information, and I can deduce, because I have the capacity for predictive analysis predicated upon prior performance, that that particular trend is probably going to hold true for the foreseeable future. There's no reason to assume otherwise. And I don't know anything about her bend over, so I couldn't say. There are a lot of people who are supposedly in the anti-woke camp who are very they're dirty. Let's just put it that way. They're very dirty. And it's so funny when they try to gatekeep people who've been part of this for so much longer than they have. This is like, weren't you one of the people who's over there like, here, Stern, fill in the blank. Back in the day, weren't you one of the shrieking harpies? Okay, he's gone. That's part of the reason I got so amused when you had, what's his face, go after Razor Fist. And I have my problems with Razor Fist. The dude has me blocked on Twitter, and probably deserved it. No, Rick, look at me, brother. Look at me, boy. No, you can't. You can't. If I hear one more person say, oh, I can fix them, I will. No, you can't fix them. You cannot fix the crazy. The crazy is thoroughly unfixable. Crazy people will always be crazy. Attempting to fix crazy gets you nothing but, well, Like, look, I'm not gonna crap on Melanie Mac too much. She's got plenty of her own personal demons to fight, but still, her... Okay, yeah, no. Damn it. I have advanced psych knowledge. Oh, yeah, yeah. Look, I'm just gonna say that my brother also did the whole, oh, I can fix them in post thing. Didn't work out. So did my sister. I have seen plenty of people try and do the, oh, but when I get involved, things will be better. No, they won't. No, they won't. They never are. Don't get involved with crazy people, chat. When old Smash JT went after Razor Fist, I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. Because I remember back in the day when all of the, the first drama whoring happened around Razor Fist, and they started spreading disgusting bullshit rumors about him. I was like, none of this is true. None of this is true. And very obviously untrue. Crap. And it was very obviously not true. But a lot of people believed it because, well, we gotta crucify this guy. He's making too much sense. Yeah, I have plenty of issues with a lot of people on our side and disagreements. Outside of our taste in music, Razor Fist could be my son, and I gave him latitude because he was raised in a Christian household and has rediscovered his roots. Well, even if none of that was true, everything that was being said about him was provably false. I know, I was married to an absolute psycho for 17 years, yeah. I mean, I have a long and storied history with people who make bad decisions in regards to relationships. And it has almost always affected me and everyone around me adversely because they've been very poor judges of character and incapable of taking advice from people who are older and wiser than them. I had a brother who married the wife from hell. She was crazy. Just an awful human being. And then, that fell apart, because of course it did. And I had a sister, and have a sister, who's still in a not good relationship with a guy I don't like. But what can you do? It's like, you've made this decision, you now gotta live with it. And there are a lot of things... And when Razor Fist released this whole video on Twitter describing what happened with the crazy girlfriend thing, it was like, oh yeah, I've heard all of this before. Like, it is nearly the exact same kind of situation as happened to my brother, because it's like, wow, she's that kind of crazy, you poor bastard. I can disagree with most and still be friendly and cordial. There are some that you just can't allow them to spread their poison freely. I've met people who I can be acquaintances with, who I cannot call friends, because they are fucking crazy. And my main qualifier in most cases is, can I consider there's a big difference between someone you consider an acquaintance and a friend. There have been a lot of people I've met on the internet, and I won't name names here, who I consider acquaintances, because and not even internet friends, but acquaintances, because they are people who either they're in relationships because they are transactional, or they're in relationships because they think that they can get something out of it. Oh, is that what happened to his live-in Hispanic girlfriend, Eve? I never paid attention. Yeah, basically, Razor Fist got mixed up with a girlfriend from hell, it fell apart, and then she basically was like, I'm going to ruin you publicly, and Razor's just over here like, yeah, but I have provable evidence to the otherwise, to the contrary. Here, have a restraining order, which is based. I'm glad he's out of the relationship, good job, dude. But there's things like that, you know, where people, far too many people on the ostensibly our side of the fence, I don't mean to go into a whole rant on other people's drama here, because I don't like drama tubing, but there are far too many people on our side who are trying to immediately throw him under the bus with that shit, who had been on our side of the fence, the anti-woke side of the fence, the sort of a libertarian conservative side of the fence, far shorter period of time than Razor Fist, but they were the first ones to try and gatekeep him as some, it's like, motherfucker. This guy's been doing this for how many years? He deserves a little bit of, I think, not necessarily credit, but a little bit more willingness to hear his side of the story. But no, we just gotta condemn them immediately. Razor isn't, let's say Razor's very different from Styx, because Styx is a, you know, a pot-smoking, mushroom-swilling hippie, lolbert, and Razor is very much a Buchananite conservative. And I like both of them, by the way, to an extent. I am completely out of ammo. Please excuse me, good sir. I need to get behind you. Just get behind here, because I'm completely out of ammo, and I don't like being out of ammo. Man, not even the courtesy of a reach around. Razor has 0 fucks to give in a lot, and that upsets a lot of people. Yeah. You know. And that's part of the reason I like him. I like people who are open and honest and not playing politics. There is one thing I abhor about YouTube since I've started doing it. It has been all of the fucking behind the doors, backbiting, scheming bullshit. Or the people who seem to think that it's a contest to see who can fuck over the other person the most. Believe all women nonsense. Yeah. Oh, everyone lies, Rick. That's one of the great and terrible things about this world. It's not restricted to gender, sadly. If it was, we could predict it and we'd never have to deal with liars ever again, but it's not. Mr. SPAA, you're out of rockets. And I am a god when it comes to dodging. Perfection. Okay, let's get away from that wall so we don't get stuck. Oh, I know, house was modeled on me. Oh, that's cool, camo. I wonder how much he had to pay for that. Looks expensive. And that airplane is dead. Well, we at least have an SPAA now. But I do also think it's interesting how, like, all the people who have massive falls from grace on the internet, this is part of the reason why I try to be careful about when I talk about drama, to not do it too much. I do find it interesting, and this is more of a, just an observation about the internet as a general whole. All the people who, like, get super into drama tubing, almost all that, the Glide Panzer is basically just cheesing it up there. Is that an M10? Aaron Hale is... That is an M10. Oh, you poor man. That cannon can still hurt him, but it's a little ridiculous. Man, I need to watch some House again. It's a good TV show. all the people who cover drama nearly exclusively, like, as their channel's content, like, it does something to them. Like, it's this weird demonic possession thingy where it completely warps their personality to where they're just... It's like the Ring for them. Like, it completely possesses their personality and everything about them. It's so weird. Nesher. Oh boy. I love Chinese players. I think that's Chinese. Up there. Possibly. You know, like, that. I think that was probably part of what led to the downfall of, rackets. It's the whole... got mixed up in that crowd. Shit went south from there. Which is a real shame. I mean, one of the key differences, I think, and one of the key things to know when it comes to, like, the whole drama sphere, is that the drama sphere doesn't look at drama in a healthy way. They look at it as content and not as a lesson. Drama is what the drama tubers often cover, the lull, you know, the lull people, the lull cows, those kinds of situations. Those aren't things to aspire to, and they're certainly not, oh, this is funnies. It is, this is a lesson to be learned from. This is a horrible situation where a bunch of people, not necessarily good people, but people, made very bad choices that you should not attempt to follow in their footsteps. And that is very important. But, switching gears here for a little bit. I'm curious about what's going to happen with the... Okay. Can you do it? Can you do it, buddy? Can you get that Puma? Wish I could switch camera modes here. I'm dropping all the artillery on Aerodale. There's a ZBD, which is now gone. I'm very interested to see what happens with the infantry update when that eventually comes to this game. Because I think they would do a lot better to add, like, modern infantry and modern combined arms first, not go World War II, because Enlisted is already doing that. I think them doing modern warfare style combined arms combat would be much more cool and a lot more interesting. Somebody got him, I think. Match is over, and we got 5th place. 2 kills, 2 critical hits, some scouting. Not bad. Not bad. Not our best tonight, but it's been alright. It is interesting to see that Borderlands did flinch on the whole, hey, we're gonna make you pay $80 for the next game. And people are like, for Borderlands? I don't know what you're smoking, buddy, but I want some because it has to be pretty good. Because I'm not paying for that. And they're like, well, I guess we don't have to make you pay that much. We can drop the price a little bit. And that is good. That is very good, because studios need to learn one very important thing. Yes, people people do sometimes pay $80 to $100 for a game, okay? But it has to be a game that justifies that cost. It has to be a game that is revolutionary, and actually revolutionary. It can't be a Cyberpunk. It can't, well, Cyberpunk at 1.0 launch. It can't be a Starfield. It has to be a game. I think probably GTA 6 will be this way. It'll be a game that has to change everything. Or, more recently, we had Stellar Blade sell for, I think it was like $60-something. Let me pull it up on Steam real quick here. It was... yeah, it's $60 on Steam right now. And it had a massive peak in concurrent players on Steam. I believe its peak was around, let me check real quick over here on SteamDB. Most played games. And it is not in the top anymore, which is not surprising, because there's been a bunch of stuff coming out, and everyone is addicted to Dune Awakening at the moment. I have the power of Google. Yeah, so at peak, it had... okay. Its 24-hour peak was... what on earth is wrong with you? Why are you not working? Oh. Yeah, its all-time peak was 192,000 players. That is ridiculously high. But it has to be a game that delivers something that nothing else is delivering at that time period in the market. You can't do Borderlands right now. There's no need to. And expect it to make that much money, because there's a dozen and one other games that fill the multiplayer co-op shooter niche, and are doing it better right now. So him being like, oh, well, you'll find a way to pay $80 for my game. It's like, no, you won't. And it's like, well, the true fans will. It's like, so what you're saying is that, you know, the nerds in the cave will just buy whatever sloppa we shovel at them. That's what you're saying here. You're pulling the same thing that EA did. How did that work out for EA? Remind me, how's BioWare doing right now? Oh yeah, the studio is nearly dead. But no, the players will just buy whatever we want them to. That kind of arrogance, that kind of, oh, well, people can just, real fans will find them. This is the thing, dummy. Retards, gaming industry professionals, allow me to provide you with a little bit of insight here. People buy video games with what is known as disposable income. Okay? The economy is ass right now. A lot of people are out of a job. A lot of people can't afford your $80, $70, $100 games. They can justify spending $30 sometimes, because you might have, you know, an extra $30 laying around. It's not that much money to some people. To others, it's an awful lot of money. But if you expect people in an economy that isn't particularly good, hasn't been particularly good for a couple of years now, to be able to just blow a shitload of cash on your game, you are going to be gravely disappointed. Let me get back. We can get back. Got into cover, and we've got backup over here in that T-80. Hopefully he's not completely special. But that's the height of arrogance, to be like, well, if you're a real fan, you'll scrounge up the $80. You know? Pull yourself up by your bootstrap, you filthy fucking zoomer. Yeah, because that kind of messaging just always goes so well. Games should... We were promised that with the digitalization of gaming, games would become cheaper. That's what they said. They were like, oh, games will get cheaper going forward. Instead, the prices of games have gone up. Now, that's not always the case. Nintendo is still the same greedy little piglet that it's always been. Suckling at the game, you know, at the gamer's teeth till they have sore chapped nipples since the frickin' 90s. But they are increasing prices too. And it's not as much for them because their prices have always been high, but not everyone is Nintendo. Not everyone lives in some strange parallel dimension where their shit always sells. No matter how bad it is. No. Okay, what killed him? Hi, Challenger. That's a nice barrel you got there, buddy.
Armor piercing loaded.
It is the height of arrogance from the gaming industry to be like, well, we just expect you to eat whatever slapper we throw you. Filthy customer.
Armor piercing loaded.
You people who keep us fed, how dare you? Oh. Arid Hail, your corpse is serving me well. It is the best shield I could ask for. Oh god, this is bad. This is bad. That Abrams is gonna eat me for lunch. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Come on, poke out. That M1A1 is good. He's not getting too greedy, which is very smart. He's also aware that there are a bunch of my teammates that are now pushing up behind me. Okay, Challenger. Hi, buddy. We are getting hits, we're just not getting any kills. And that's not... not ideal. Like... Oh, there's a set over there, too. Push back safely. I need to basically reposition here. Because where we're at is not... Okay, that is our Leopard. It's like, that is a very large engine noise behind me. I would like to not be shot in the rear by someone with a much better tank than I do currently possess. We're good. Oh, hi. That's a nice pile of enemy tanks you got there. It'd be a real shame if something were to happen to them. Can we make this work?
Another zone captured. We have the advantage.
I think we're gonna be able to pull up safely. Possibly. Nope, 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 nope. Maybe. Maybe. Please, Russian bias, save me. I beg you. Yes. Ah. Russian bias for the win, chat. Ah. Aw. Come on. Let me have this win, damn you. But I am curious. I do wonder what's going to happen with, for example, GTA 6 or Borderlands 4, because I do think it's interesting that they delayed GTA 6, if I remember correctly, out till later in the year than they were originally planning. And I do think that made a lot of people happy. But I wonder if you're going to have the same situation you had with GTA that you had with Baldur's Gate 3, where the gaming industry looks at it, goes, oh, this game, which is going to change everything, yeah, we're just not going to take anything from that. We're going to be very careful to not learn any lessons here. Why should we? We are perfectly legitimate. Why should we have to learn anything from this new game that has been selling very well? You know, there were a lot of articles that came out around the time of Baldur's Gate 3's release where they were like, well, Baldur's Gate 3 showed very well, but, you know, we don't need to take anything from this. Thank you for the blurb, bend over. Did you know that after some... Did you know why some British tanks in World War II after destroying... Some British crews in World War II after destroying a tank said, gain Eggers? No, I did not. Exag. I'm not gonna do that whole name because that's a lot of X's and A's there, bud.
Attention to the map. Crew positions.
Bravo it is then. Oh, I should have switched my my desert camo. Should have switched to my desert camo. I would be interested to hear why, though. Oh, dear. Come on. What are you? Leopard 2. Considering as there were like 4 of them and 1 of me, I'm gonna call that pretty good. Alright. We're good there. Oh, come now. It's not that funny.
You serious?
Thank you for the blurb there, Rick Cleary. Okay, should be good there. Gain Eggers, sound it out. Dude, do you have any idea what time it is and how late I stayed up last night? That is bad. That is bad and you should feel bad. I think you should go to SOCON.
Let me see your war face! Sir, you got a war face? Ah!
That would be a wild, grizzled entertainment, methinks. It is. Hail Grizzle. Yeah, you should all go to SOCON. Sock on these nuts. Thank you for the blurb there, Rick Cleary. Yeah. The lights are on and no one is home at this point in the evening. I am doing all right. My Sunday is going decently well, except for the chat taking the piss out of me, as usual. Oh, God. Come on, you could have at least given me the filthy British jet with the rockets. Oh, yeah, he's got Starfighter. Thanks for the Lord Grizzled. Come on, poke out, buddy. You know you want to. Come on. What's he shooting over there? Please don't put smoke out at the last possible moment. I don't need it. Of course he put smoke out. Put smoke out, obscures my shot, makes it where I'm gonna die. Yep, I'm gonna die. Because the enemy will not appear in my reticle until after I am dead.
I will be doing the fondling, I will not be getting fondled. Okay, I find that acceptable.
Under normal circumstances, Rick, yeah, that would be true. However, in this particular case, yeah, not so much. Oh. $89,000 out from the M1A1HC. I have noticed some very interesting things going on recently with the whole I've been diving into Darktide with Arid Hail on off streams, and that game is very good now. I remember watching it when it first released, and it was just this absolute disaster of a title because it was super buggy. The gunplay was not very good. The weapons didn't work the way people wanted to, but now they're fully functional. Now everything is, all the bugs are ironed out, all the kinks are ironed out, it functions largely as it should, and it's a lot of fun now. But at launch, it was busted in half. And I think this is a problem that is becoming far too common in the modern games industry, where you have games release, they're half busted at release. They honestly probably should have cooked for another year or two before they released at all, but they're like, nope, we're going to get it out the door, we're going to get it out there, we're going to get it released, we're going to put it on the market, and when they do so, people are like, this is a disaster. Why did you do this? So the game releases, it's poorly received, and most studios at that point don't support it. At that point, most studios are like, I'm done, I'm out, we're out, we've got better things to do with our time. And so they just punt. But Fat Shark is weird, because Fat Shark takes games that are absolute disasters at launch and are like, here, we're going to support this over the years. We're going to provide constant updates for it, and we're going to basically labor of love this shit into eventually being good. But still, they shouldn't do that. Because they've done this twice now. They did this with Vermintide 2, and they've done this now with Darktide. Okay, Vermintide 2 right now is one of the best, like, co-op, first-person, horde-killing, melee combat games on the market. I love Vermintide 2 a lot. Carillion is best girl. But when Vermintide 2 launched, it had a lot of issues as well. And now you have Darktide being pretty much the same thing. Now, Darktide feels great. The weapons feel good to use, mostly. The ranged combat, it punishes you a lot more for going into melee range, because, you know, everyone has las guns. You know, you try and Zerg rush a group of gunners, you're going to get blown apart. But if you take your time and you do ranged, you can generally get through a mission fairly easily if you have a team that's not completely retarded. But that's not how it was at launch. It was a buggy mess. It had server problems. The weapons didn't feel good. The gunplay was not particularly impressive. But they changed things enough over time to where now that game is very, very serviceable. And it brings me back to remembering what this one dev said. I believe he was working for, I think it was Bungie, where he was like, we're only going to get one release with this game. Let's polish it enough to make sure that it's good. And I think that that's what they should be doing. I think studios like Fatchart make good games. I think Darktide is now a decent game, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's not going to be a game that I main. I don't play, you know, and play nothing else, but it is a game I enjoy. I think they could have done much better if they had actually waited a couple of years to get all the balance changes correct. And I think them not doing that has hurt them as a studio and as a game dev. When your enemies are making mistakes, don't stop them. Yeah, but I don't think we should be looking at game companies necessarily as, like, as a customer. I don't think you should be looking at game companies as your enemy. I mean, I think when they do bad things, you should call them out on it, but I like games. I like gaming. Fucking ADATs over there. Stop, please. You absolute weasel. God, what a little rat. I mean, I think you should call out people when they do things that are bad, but I also think that you should be willing to provide useful criticism that can help people to improve in future. That is probably one of the most important things when it comes to no, that's not good. When it comes to dealing with studios. For example, Arrowhead Games, Helldivers 2 studio. I don't think they would have been as receptive to a lot of the criticism they received if there weren't enough people offering them legitimate, constructive criticism. Being like, look, this is the actual problems with your game. It's not just the whole... It's not just the whole, here, have... You know, you did the dumb stuff with the PSN account debacle. It was also the constant balance changes, anti-gamer bias that they had. Their anti-player bias. Let them be their own undoing. Well, the thing is, a lot of these video game studios are not like Hollywood. Video game studios are not beyond saving in most cases. They're willing to listen to constructive criticism in a lot of cases. And, for example, Darktide, the weapons now feel good to use, which was a big complaint. Like, if you use, for example, the Thunderhammer in Darktide, it feels great to use, because if you want to go after, for example, one of the big hulking monster brute dudes, and you hit him with a Thunderhammer, it is beautiful. powerful what that does. Like, it feels like you're wielding a Thunderhammer, because it has, the sound design is right, the impact is right, everything about it is good feedback, which apparently the game didn't have at launch. You know, I saw people play it at launch. It wasn't where it needed to be as a game. But they took that criticism, they learned from it, and they moved on. And I think when studios do that, you should give them a cookie. Because this is a problem you face a lot in politics. When you have people who are like, well, we did this thing for you on your side against the people you don't like, and then people are like, oh, well, you didn't give us exactly everything we ever wanted. You just must be a monster. It's like, no. It's part of the process. If you want to have a long-term victory, you have to do so. If you want to win a war, you don't win a war by winning a battle. You don't win a war with a battle. You win a war with a series of victories. In every case. In every war that has ever been fought, it has not been a situation where you win by, oh, we, you know, here, we attacked once, they will, of course, bend over and, you know, accept our demands in future. No, it has been, okay, we've taken this strategic point, now we have to take this strategic point, we have to do this, 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 and this. There's a series of things you have to do to reach victory conditions. And, you know, here, we have to do D-Day, Market Garden, a bunch of other stuff, to finally get to here, you know, Hitler has ganked himself in a bunker. Or, you know, hey, we dropped a pair of suns on Japan. That's what is required. You have to do a long-term campaign to win. And gaming companies often require large amounts of fan feedback to finally get the players what they want. Hitler's double. Yes, Arid Hail. Good point. After all, we all know that Hitler actually died in Argentina decades later. But that is a very important distinction, I think. I think a lot of people on our side get very frustrated very quickly and black pill really quickly because they're like, oh, we didn't gain instant victory. The whole, oh, we dealt with Sweet Baby Inc., but that didn't solve all of the problems we were looking to solve. You know, we didn't get rid of all of the wokeness in game. It's like, no. Because that's not what is going to get you the long-term victory you want. You know, these people have been entrenching themselves in the institutions. Hollywood, movies, TV, publishing, Silicon Valley. They've entrenched themselves in every institution, and a lot of these people seem to just think that they were going to come in one day, shake up everything, and be able to then hang up their sword and beat it into a plowshare. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You're dealing with a subversive enemy here. It will take you years to fix the threat permanently. And with gaming, a lot of times you have companies that make bad mistakes because they just made a bad decision or two. Or they had a bad design philosophy. Helldivers 2 had a bad design philosophy because in the beginning they were like, well, we don't want the player to feel like, they're overpowered. We want them to suffer. We want to hurt the player. We don't want them to have fun the wrong way. They have to have fun our way. And if they have fun any way other than exactly the way we design them to, well then, that just can't stand. And that's an anti-player bias. They had to fix that problem. Eventually they did. But it took months and months of the fan base being like, you are being retarded. You have to do this, this, and this to fix your game. And eventually they listened to criticism, and they got rid of that problem. They got rid of their anti-player bias. And kudos to him, because I didn't realize that this was what had happened. But apparently the CEO of Stellar Blade is why Sony unlocked all of those countries that were blocked by the PSN requirements. They were like, look, we want to sell our game everywhere, and our game is going to be very popular, so we would like you to unlock it. And Sony was like, okay, we'll do that, because we expect Stellar Blade to do very well. Which was the right decision. It was absolutely the right decision. Sony should have done that for Helldivers 2, because if they had, Helldivers 2 would not have fallen off like it did. But I think you're going to see a lot more of that over the intervening decade or so. You're going to see a lot more companies willing to listen to their audience, willing to take criticism in a healthy way that says, here's what you can do to fix. Here's how you fix it. Here's what you should fix. Here's what you shouldn't change. Here's what you should change. Because every time they do that, it has a positive effect on their bottom line. Most of these studios are run by money people. They're not run by gamers. Most of these major publishers are run by money people. They're not run by gamers. ScrewTube won't let me refer to aborting the company you just referred to. Well, Sony is not... Sony has a lot of problems. I don't think it's a wholly evil company, but I don't think a lot of the people in it are good. And I do think that them not allowing them to be criticized is a problem. Because I think you should be able to criticize every company. And not being able to criticize them is not a good thing. Clark has got to go. I'm going to take the 120S with summer camo, and I'm going to go to Alpha because I need to be able to hold it to keep the filthy... I need to be able to deal with... Oh, that's that SU-85M from earlier. Why? Yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. does need to go away. Permanently. A lot of these studios, a lot of these consultation firms need to go. And it will take a lot to make them go away permanently because they have entrenched themselves like... That's interesting video game. That's very interesting. So he's just able to eat those, huh? That's a little strange. And I think that you're going to have to do an awful lot to eventually get rid of SBI. Because SBI is just the tip of the iceberg. They are a firm, they're a consultation firm with a ton of... they're in our spawn. Roll time! How was I doing? I was in 3rd place. 2 caps, 2 kills. Probably a couple more than a few hits. Has anyone investigated how to see how much tax dollars went to SBI via USAID? I think Savvy did some, possibly, and I think Kirsha did as well. But I don't know about anyone like in the mainstream, like, you know, conservative talk space really did a deep dive into that besides them. And good on them. I mean, Kirsha, and it's hilarious that this is the point we have come to when a VTuber Foxwoman is the one actually doing the most work on actually like getting the receipts on this shit. Unsurprising, ultimately, because of the kind of hyper-autism she has, but it's hilarious to realize that Kirsha is basically the only one actually looking into where these people are getting their funding from. And it hats off to her. She's doing an excellent job. And she's had to go through a ton of shit because of that. Like, you know, getting doxxed, you know, all of that shit. It is... I think she has done an excellent job there, and I hope that she is able to continue to do so as long as possible, because it is honestly quite impressive. And Savvy too, but I don't watch Savvy as much because that woman is, I don't know, something about her just, it's like you rub me the wrong way. That's not that she, there's nothing bad about Savvy at all. She does a lot of good work too. It's just there's something about her personality just grinds my gears a little. I couldn't tell you what it is. I get that way with certain people, where I meet people and they're like, you know, this person, there's nothing wrong with them, but there's something in the back of my mind that just goes, something there doesn't seem right. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something. CB, hello, my man. How do you feel? Not good at all, apparently. Got him in the ammo storage. Oh, there's an HSDBL out there. Oh, and the Tsushima got me from the side. Whoa! Oh, he was able to see me through that. That makes sense. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Fair play. Fair play there. Okay, we're gonna spawn over here and try and help Aerodale out at Bravo. We probably won't make it, but we'll try. And a lot of these studios are not the originators of a lot of the propaganda that is getting pushed in their products anymore. It's the publishers who are enforcing it, and it is the consultation firms. Like, Sweet Baby Inc., people hyper-focused on them around the time of that flare-up, but they were not the only people responsible. There were a dozen other little consulting firms like them. They were just the most high-profile. Got him through the ammo stowage, so hopefully he's out. And there's someone pushing on Bravo hard. I don't like that at all. Like, there was Silver String Media, which is another part of that whole Alakalovka business. They have ties to that crap. Speaking of Zoe Quinn and the Whisper Network, it is also NGOs and colleges that use money to push the commie agenda on these companies. It is. If you look into, for example, Silver String Media, I just mentioned them. He's gonna get me. They have a lot of connections, I believe, to the Canadian government. Sarah Bond, the current head of Microsoft, and this is another aspect we need to talk about because this is important too. Yes, a lot of this is being pushed directly by the Sweet Baby Incs., the Silver String Medias, the, what are they called? What's the other one that came out more recently? All of those sort of organizations, they are let in by people within the company. People who are sympathetic to those particular ideologies. If you look at Microsoft, for example, Microsoft is highly sympathetic to this kind of thing because it has tight connections to McKinsey & Company, which is the company who published the study that said that if you are a more diverse company, you'll make more money. And by the way, that study has never been repeated. That paper that they published, no, it's like, oh yeah, this totally changes things. Like, if you have a bunch of like women and black people, you'll get more. Yeah, that study's never been repeated by anyone else. Literally just them. If you have diverse minority in your company, you will make more money. And that's been proven to be not true. Buddy, stop running, you're gonna die tired. Okay. Oh, who was that? It was in the IPM over there. Hi, buddy. You know, you just shot, so I don't feel bad about this at all. Okay, M1A1 over there needs to go, if possible. Try and push around to the side here. We're doing a good hard counter push here, which is very nice. I have read about several of those, Rick, and what is part of the reason why I hyper-focus on McKinsey & Company so much is because McKinsey & Company is largely responsible, at least in part or in whole, come on, repair. It won't matter. We did cap that point and get 3 kills, so that's not bad. McKinsey & Company has a lot more connections to, like, the pop culture side of things, which is more my area of expertise. Like, I am not a full-on political commentator. I do occasionally get political over here on live streams, and I do talk about that stuff because it does directly affect what is going on in pop culture-related topics. But it's not really like it's not what I wanted to really make the main focus of the channel. Like, you have to talk about this stuff when it has relevance. But I'm not going to be over. I hope to God I never have to turn the channel full into, you know, Alex Jones over there in the corner going, and you see there, Crowder, it's all about the lizard people that Soros is bringing into the country along with these illegals. I don't want to turn into that one day. Not that there's anything wrong with Alex Jones. I love the man, but it's not really what I wanted to get into this for. I wanted to talk pop culture, but the problem is pop culture is now so deeply twined with politics that there is no way to really separate the two, because you have a bunch of people who are ideologically aligned with the idea that everything is political. And so if you try to do anything if you try to say, oh, well, this isn't political, they'll be like, well, it's politically this way. Parallel group was G.H.W. Bush and Vernon Jordan. Think about that. Yeah. That seems like one of those that's like the Clinton Foundation. It's like, how many like fucking umbrella corp related crap are you involved with? That is, it's that style of NGO. It's ridiculous. It's like, you could be doing stuff to advance humanity as a species, and you were like, no man, we're gonna plot world domination inside of a Dr. Evil penis ship. That's what we're gonna do. Come on, dude. While ruining Lord of the Rings. Why, no, I did not describe a very specific billionaire there. Oh, that's a Lynx. Aaron Hale is doing his best here. God bless him, chat. Statistics. I'm in second place. Oh, God. Yeah, our team is screwed. We were getting a little bit of momentum there for a little while, but they couldn't hold it. Because they couldn't hold it, we're getting steamrolled now. You know, I'm not one of those people who believes that there's some grand conspiracy or anything like that. And now, you know, I became a Buchananite. I learned too much. Yeah, well, the thing is, I tend to fall into the category of I am very conservative on a lot of things, but I am not a ideologue. That is one thing I have managed to avoid becoming for pretty much all of my life, Rick, is I am not an ideologue. I am someone who pretty much for all of his life has questioned things that have gotten me in trouble with people. There have been a lot of people in my life who, either it's politically or religiously or what have you, who have had extreme differences with me on a lot of things because I don't usually go with just what everyone says. I go with what I believe to be moral. When it comes to politics, my politics are not based upon, here, I like this particular political ideology. When it comes to politics, I'm a very utilitarian individual to an extent. And by utilitarian, I mean actually utilitarian. I don't mean, you know, the modern postmodernist utilitarianism. I mean utilitarian in the sense that, here, let's find what works, and you do that. I'm very pragmatic. And I don't believe that being, you know, just slavishly adherent to one group and owing them allegiance. Like, for example, on this stream, we called out the Dawn for the whole, you know, Iran thing. Now, I understand why you did it. I might even agree with some of the reasoning behind it, but I don't like it. Because I don't like war. I don't like us getting involved in foreign entanglements. I don't think that's a good thing. But there are other things he's done that I do agree with. And so I'm willing to, you know, extend the olive branch on those things. I'm a very by-issues person. Now, I don't think there's pretty much anything that comes from the liberal side of the fence that I can really agree with. Because it is that side of the fence is very authoritarian. It's very ideologically Marxist aligned.
Like I'm putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the freaking frogs gay.
Pretty much, Grizzle. But God bless that man. If you've ever seen Alex Jones in person, or just seen him let loose on a show where he does not have to censor himself, he's one of the funniest people on planet Earth. Not right on a lot of things, but he is very funny. He is that crazy uncle, the one that's actually, you know, likable. He's me in 40 years, except for hopefully without the crazy wife and the several $1 million lawsuit. Hi. I love being a rat tank. I'm in love with the HSDVL. Let's get over here. Target destroyed according to intelligence. Thank you for the blurb there. Bend over. Okay, let's turn. Leopard 2, PSO. Hover. Got him. He is. Lots of people have had to. Oh God, no. No. No, 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 no. Wait, no. 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 No, God, please no. Oh, that's a mouse. That is a mouse. That is a mouse. Chat? Chat, we may be in trouble. Houston, we may have a problem here. please push up past that. Come on. That is a mouse. Okay. What do I have that can counter a mouse? We're gonna need. I don't even know what will work on those at this BR. I haven't seen a mouse. Yeah, we may be in trouble, Rick. I think if I can get him side on, I can kill it. I think if I can get him directly side on, I can kill him. Possibly. Oh, that's bad. That is bad. I don't like fighting a mouse. I don't want to fight a mouse today. Why did someone do that? Why do you gotta ruin it for everyone? That is definitely gonna leave a mark, Ben. Oh, God. You know, that guy basically did the child equivalent of, you know, when you're playing war with your friends, and the one kid's like, you know, and the one kid's like, you know, I brought a sword, I brought a knife, I brought a gun. Yeah, we're screwed. There's a mouse up there, there's a bunch of Type 90s, they're pushing like a... This is not going to end well. There is no way that we do not come out of this torn up. Maybe if I can get an airplane up, kill their fighter. Or bomber, or whatever that is. I gotta get low, though. I've gotta get low, and then I need to strafe the shit out of Charlie. That can distract them enough that somebody can start getting kills, but I really need like a... Yes! Okay, this might give us a shot, chat. This might give us a shot. If I can get up there and take out that Type 90, we might have a chance. And it's fucked. Okay. Come on. Let's see, can I kill that clickbait? Oh, gunner. Thank God I got his gunner. Gun, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Now. Nope. Oh, that was rough. The moment I saw that mouse, I was like, it is over. It is so over. Yeah, the mouse was the moment I knew. Because you see a mouse and you know it's not gonna go well for you. Because the mouse can tank so many hits that everyone else can just focus on killing you. How many at? How far are we in? We're 3 hours, 30 minutes. Let's go one more. One more, and we'll call it, chat. But, God. Ugh. I would like to close this on a win, if possible. I hate the mouse. The passion you will have for that thing. It is a horrific little creature of a tank. Because it eats everything. Cannon shells? Eats those. Your tank eats that. Rockets. It will eat those as well. Missiles? Get your busted ass over here. ATGMs? Eat that and it'll bake for seconds. God. I hate the mouse. Because it is a absolute beast. Like, there are people who are like, oh, the T95, the American T95 is our mouse. I don't know if you've played against the mouse, but, yeah, T95 is nowhere as good as the mouse. Oh, look, I have 285 millimeters of frontal armor. Yeah. Yeah, that is the mouse in a nutshell. Also, it has a pretty damn good cannon, which is very hard to go against. Like, you get... Hail, Sandy. Did we hit 700? I didn't realize we did hit 700. Well, I'll be damned. Thank you all very much. Godspeed. Hail and kill chat. That is awesome, guys. Thank you all very much. That is great. I really appreciate it, guys. We're getting close on the watch hours too. Like, we need 1,000 watch hours to get fully monetized. So that's like 6 Rogue Trader streams. So thank you all very much for that. I have been very, very humbled by this. I really appreciate it a lot. And I'm very grateful. And I really appreciate it, guys. And I'm sorry, I don't do the whole people thing well, but I'm really grateful. Oh yeah, for a long time, we were not only stagnating, but doing... Thank you very much for the blurb, Grizzle. We were not only stagnating, but actually going back on watch hours. And I was kind of giving up hope there for a while. I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. But then, I started live streaming more. I basically had a come to Jesus moment, and we started live streaming more. And I started focusing more on long-form content, and that changed everything. You know, our subs shot up, watch hours have shot up, things have been going much better for me, and I've met so many very good people. And I am very grateful for that. So, thank you guys. A ton. I really appreciate it. Oh, please God, let's not have a mouse pop in this time. Go park over here. There's an M1A1HC. Yeah, we had... So, the Rogue Trader streams have been grossing, like, not concurrent, but over time, like, total. They've been over 200 views per stream for the last couple. And I've been... That has blown me and Arid Hill away, and I'm so grateful to you guys for that. I know a lot of people just watch my streams to fall asleep to my voice, and I'm grateful for that. I really appreciate it. I'm happy I can, in any way, provide entertainment to people. Because this is something I really do enjoy a lot. I like doing it. I didn't used to say this, but back in the day, maybe it wasn't true, but these days I'm very much into this, at least partially for the love of the game itself. And I do like it. So I thank everyone out there, everyone who watches, everyone who lurks. You're all fucking awesome, and I greatly appreciate it, guys. Come on. Come on. Oh, I know you're trying to bait me. This is the time each week when I prepare for the work week, so watching you blow things up fits quite well. Well, thank you, Sandy. I'm glad that it's... I'm glad that you enjoy the occasional bit of Warthunder, because this is something I love doing, and I'm glad that you enjoy the streams. Yep, I'm a lot harder to kill than that. You're gonna need to do better. Do better, Senator. Bad SPAA. Bad Gepard. You will not be blowing up my engine today. Or any other part of me. Come on. I am a god, you creature, and I will not be bullied by wham! Bantam over there like, yeah, you can stop that right now. Bantam being very clever. Oh, that poor I don't know who keeps dragging that poor down-tiered man into this conflict, but he's not a good friend. That Su-85M is a World War II era vehicle. Like, just barely post-war. It shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here. He should be going and bombing around in like 4.0, 5.0, low tier, where he's not going to get savaged by a dozen heavy tanks. Or a dozen medium tanks, more correctly. The MBTs will rip him apart. He has no turret, he's very squishy. Someone keeps dragging that poor man into top tier missions, and that is just... You are not a good friend if you do that. That is cruel and unusual. Hi. I think that's our first kill for this one. We have gotten a kill assist so far, but that's our first kill. Before I sound too much like a Skaven, let's see if we can get around to the back line there. I think they killed the last two dudes up over there. No, there's his 120S. How you doing, buddy? Temporarily invulnerable, huh? Come on. I know that's gonna wear off eventually. You know it is, too. Yeah, he's gone. Well, I said we wanted to go out on a win, chat, and that is a win. Although I didn't score particularly high. Chat, I thank you all very much. 700 subs, that blows me away. Thank you all very much. And thanks everyone for your time, Sandy, Grizzled, Ben, Arid Hale, everyone who came by today. Thank you all very much. I am going to probably hop off here for a little bit, get some water and some food. And yeah, I'm gonna call it here for the night. But Rick, my dude, you're awesome. Thank you for keeping me company, along with Arid Hale. Thank you for playing with me. Ataria, I know you're probably asleep over there wherever you are, and I hope you all have a great rest of the evening. I'm really grateful, guys. And before I get too happy, I'm gonna sign off here. So, Godspeed, ladies and gentlemen. For now, this has been Pete, the Reticle Nerd, signing off.